Okay, y'all, I'm back. And I have my trusty dusty D-pads and I have my booty band. I have a stopwatch to help to keep time because my phone is being utilized right now. So I suggest you get something else to keep your time if you're not going to use your phone. I also have a yoga block to help me gain access in areas that I may be struggling and I don't want to put myself in any negative patterns. Hips forward, we're hip thrusting. There's no strength in our backside. Our feet are pointed out. Our knees are pointed out. Our head is down. Our thoracic spine is compressed. We want to get out of this posture, out of this behavior that we've been accustomed to, because with chairs usually push our hips forward. Couches push our hips forward, and we end up in this position a lot. Okay. We want to get out of these. This is not a good position to be in. Okay. So we want to come to a point where we are in healthy positions. We're always going to be on the blades of our feet, the balls of our feet. Our hips are always going to be back behind our rib cage. So if I was to show you this here, and I'm doing this so that you guys can see where the body is at. So rib cage is here. My bottom of my rib cage is here. My hip bone and my hips are behind my rib cage. They're not in front. This is compressed, decompressed. J-spine, we really want to focus on getting our spinal erectors, which is the muscles on the sides of your spine, to be strong. That's going to keep your lower back, your hips, and actually the rest of your system in alignment and actually be more powerful and give you more strength overall, even in your core. So we're not doing any core exercises, but every single thing that we do right now is going to get you in a position to have a stronger core muscles, all the way from your lower abs all the way up. All right, so let's get into it. Get your block, get your stuff. I hope you guys are ready. We're going to run through this and we're going to go. So let's do 3 minutes of a forward fold and I'm going to walk you through it. So let's go ahead, and feet are straight. Toes are straight ahead. Our second toe is straight. Balls of our feet are pressed into the ground. Blades of our feet are pressed into the ground. We're pushing back. We are going, our ankles are going to rotate out to the right just a little bit as we are pushing energy right to left with our hips and our glutes. You can even pull them apart if you need to. And we're just going to lean forward, chest up, meaning that chest is facing the mat. It's not chasing, it's not facing your belly button, but your chest is facing the mat. Your neck is straight. Your chin is slightly tucked. And then we are going to lean down, and we're going to continue to be pressing the balls of our feet, the blades of our foot into the ground, and pulling apart our hips, using the booty band to press up against to help that resistance. And we're going to breathe. Hips go back and up to the sky, pressing apart. This whole time we're trying to internally rotate our hips. And we're breathing. Don't forget to breathe. We're going to breathe in. The stomach goes out. Breathe out, pulling up from the pelvic floor and zippering up our abs from the bottom up. So we breathe out. All the way up. So in our forward fold, decompression here. Stomach goes out. Exhale, come together. Zip up those abs. Breathe in, gain more length. Try to gain more access to the ground, pushing your hips and glutes back to the sky and up. Working apart, tearing apart that piece of paper with your feet and your hips, pushing against that booty band right to left. Trying to internally rotate those hips at the top. We're not forcing our knees to do anything. The action comes from our hips. The knees are a byproduct of what the hip and the ankle are doing. So we're pushing against. We got about 20 more seconds. You guys are doing well. We're going to start with this and we're going to end with this. So you get another chance to just be in this for a minute. Use a block, use a chair, use whatever you'd like. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Come on down. We're going to come down and we're going to get into 2 minutes of rockers. Rockers, again, are on all fours. You can use a block if you need to, or you can use a chair, or you can use a wall to get you to be able to feel your backside. So we're going to do the same action, and we're going to do toe tucked rockers where our toes are tucked under ourselves, and we're going to rock back and forth. So when we're rocking, we're going to go ahead and start the time now. 2 minutes. So we're going to rock it out. So our toes are pressing into the ground. Our knees are tearing apart that imaginary piece of paper. They're tearing apart. And as we're tearing apart, we're going to feel it in our glutes and our hips right here. And we're just going to hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and start rocking again. We're keeping our chest up. We're still breathing. We're zippering up from the bottom up. Remember, when we breathe out, our stomach expands, or excuse me, when we breathe in, it expands. Breathing out, zipper up. So we're going to continue that movement. Good job. We're tearing apart the piece of paper. We can bring our knees together and then tear it apart. Find the glute, hold if you need to. You don't have to rock to have this activation in your hips. If your toes start to get cramped up, go ahead and take your feet and make them flat on the ground, and you can still do the same motion. Pressure is in the tops of your feet, tearing apart the paper. Whew. And you're going to feel all in the glutes and the hips. Let's hold it here. We got about 30 more seconds coming up. We'll just continue. If you can do it without a block, you want to be able to move in this position and have all your power and all your strength being held in your glutes and in the pressure that you are actually pulling apart your hips. You can take your hands here and still do the same movement without losing anything. So we got 10 more seconds. Good job, everybody. You're doing well. Keep it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to get into side-to-side rockers. These are going to isolate one glute and hip area at a time. 2 minutes here. We're going to stay in the same position. Your toes can be tucked under or they can be flat. All right. So let's get going. When they're flat, just remember your heels are away all day. Your heels are away all day. Your toes are touching, and we're going from here. Let's do 2 minutes. Side to side rockers. We're going to lateral and back. Lateral and back. Right and back. Left and back. Pressure is only in one glute and hip at a time. When you're moving left to right, remember the other parts of your body are moving as well. You're not staying stiff. Your spine, your neck, your shoulders are moving along with your movement. So again, we're left. So when I go to the right, my left shoulder drops back to my left hip. When I go to the left, my right shoulder drops back to my right hip. This is your side bend. This will work your obliques, and it'll really feel good. Right to left. This is just one glute at a time, getting all the work. So you can even stop, make sure you're feeling it. You put your hand back here. If you start to feel any pinching in your hip area here, you can do a slight tilt of your tailbone. So if you're here, slight tilt, and you can still go right to left, making sure there's no pinching anywhere, no pinching in your hips. All of the pressure is in your shins, the right sides of your knee, the tops of your feet. And with the beautiful thing with these knee pads is that you don't even feel your knees, especially being outside. So we're just going to keep going right to left. Keep filling the glute, one glute at a time. And we're going to keep going. We got about 20 more seconds. You guys are doing great. Continue this. Oh yeah, this feels good. Whew. The glutes are on fire. This is your groundwork. This is where we always retreat to. Even if we're starting to do harder things, the ground is always where I come back to when I'm feeling off. All right, good job. All right, shake it off. All right. Oh, now we're going to do some single side rockers. So we're just going to hold on one side or the other. So we're going to do 1 minute on the left, 1 minute on the right. Just the same position that we were doing. And let's go ahead and hold. And let's go. So right side first. So you're going to take your left foot, put it on top of your right foot. And I want you to push back and to the right just a little bit until you feel the outer part of your glute, the upper part of your glute, maybe in a little bit of the anterior part of your hip kind of light up. We're just going to hold this. If you feel strong enough, you can try to bring your left knee off the mat just a little bit, but your pressure should be in your glute. So if you can't do that, keep that left knee down. And we're just going to hold this position. So we're only feeling our right glute. You may feel a little bit of your left, but everything, all the pressure should be adjusting your right glute. Just hold it. Continue to push back. You can rock here if you'd like, but we're just staying right here. We got 10 seconds, and then we're going to switch to the other side. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No downtime. Switch right over. Right foot goes on top of the left foot. So now we're pressing with our right foot, top of our left foot. I'm feeling my left glute. My head and my shoulders are connected to the right side right now because all the pressure is going to my left glute. You can even take your feet over to the right a little bit to make sure you're really feeling that glute. You can do a side bend here if you need to stretch it out. Really get a good stretch in your lat. Don't be afraid to move in these positions and give your body exactly what it needs. I want you to feel it. The thing is, we want to build our back chain. We want to build our glutes, our hamstrings, our lateral calf, all the way up through our obliques, all the way up to our shoulders and the back. All of that gets built, but it starts in the glutes and the hips. Good job. Three more seconds here. All right, good job. We're going to go one more time with the holds. Let's go 1 minute to the right. Hold it. We're really pushing back and up. I really want you guys to get into that hip so you can take your feet that are behind you. Again, left goes over right foot, and we're really pressing into that right hip. And just hold, move around a little bit. Remember, you can tilt your pelvis just a tiny bit if you start to get pinching in your hip flexors. You're feeling your hip flexors because your hip flexors probably have been overworked. And so now we're trying to heal them. With healing, sometimes comes a little bit of pain. And with that pain, we are learning our bodies. So we're really good, guys. We're about 10 seconds out, and we're going to switch right to the left side. Oh, good job. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue to breathe. Left side. Again, right foot goes over left. Right hand, left hand goes over to the right side. Just a little bit. Stretch it out here. Feel your glute. There should be pressure in just the left glute. Oh, good job, guys. We're just going to hold this. All this is just pressure. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing my left foot into the ground. I'm pressing my left outer part of my shin muscle into the ground. I'm keeping my head straight ahead. My chest is still up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good job. All right, shake it out. Oh, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Good job. Shake it out. Come on up. Oh, okay. Good job, everybody. So now I want to get us into some pigeon work. So this is going to be some one-legged work. that we're doing. Pigeon, usually most people think about the stretch. The stretch is not a bad thing, but right now we're going to do some active work in our pigeon. So I'm going to show you the front view first, and then I'll show you the side view. Okay, so you can just follow along. Like I said, more detailed information in another video. We're gonna do this for 2 minutes on the left side. Let's go. Left knee, left foot drives into the ground. You can take your booty band off if you need to, or you can keep it on to really feel that activation. Right hand is in front of you. All your power is in your left knee, left hip, and left foot. That's what's driving in the ground. If you were to take your right hand off the ground, all my power is in my left hip, and I'm basing it with the right toe on the ground. So now we're going to lean forward. We're going to take that right leg, and we're going to like kind of hamstring curl it, have it go over your left ankle, right over the other side. And we're going to just hold here for a second. We're going to take our left hand and our left elbow and drive it back towards our left hip. We're just going to hold this. We're going to find our glute. You just kind of take your chest and your head in the same direction, but you're staying over your column, which is my knees here. So I need to make sure when I'm looking up, my eyes are up, but my neck is not cocked to the side. Okay, you're doing really good. We're almost there. Just hold this on the left-hand side, drive the foot into the ground, push back, find your comfort. We're gonna hold. You can put your hand on your glute. Remember, we're getting a little side bend here to work this area here. All these rolls is just skin and fat. But it's okay, because I can feel the insides of my transverse abdominis working. So I'm really pushing into the hip. All the motion is just pushing back, just back. And then our upper body, slight twist. Very good. And switch. All right, right foot. So we're going to have our right knee down. Right knee, right foot drives into the ground, as we see here. Left knee comes over our right ankle. We're internally rotating at the hips on all these. And we're going to take our right hand, bring it up to our chest, our right shoulder back to our hips, feel the glute. We're holding this here. Adjust until you can feel the glute. Just what it looks like from the back real quick. Right leg's down, left, internally rotate over the right ankle. Other foot is on the ground. Right hand comes off the ground. Right elbow goes back towards the hip. And we're holding it, keeping our head over our knee. We're not bringing our head way out here, outside of our columns, staying in our columns. Head is over the knee. Chest is up, pushing back into our glute. We're driving our right foot, top of our foot into the ground. Next one we're going to do is going to be able to see if you can bring your left hand off, because if you find yourself falling forward, it's not done right. We got about 30 seconds. Here's what it looks like from the side. Heads over the side. My arms should not be gaining all the pressure, but if I need to, I can grab a block, help myself to get up to feel that glute. Sometimes we have to elevate our surface to be able to activate the glute properly. We don't want to feel this in our hips, in our hip flexors. So when we're pushing back into that hip, driving. One more minute on this side. We're at the halfway point, y'all. Halfway point. You're doing great. Just stay back. Again, right hand comes off the mat. Head, chest over the knee. Pushing back into my glute. Filling it in my glute. Filling it on the right side of my hip a little bit. So I'm going to adjust my right foot to make sure it's more to the left so that I can really feel this glute. Oh, yeah. Oh, Almost there. 20 seconds. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Whew. Good job. Good job, guys. Keep it up, head up. Keep that neck. You can stretch at this point. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, guys. Okay, here we go. Now, this time we're going to try to hold the pigeon. So let's show you from the left first so you can see it. So we're going to do this for a minute. It'll probably take us about 2 minutes to do it, but we're probably going to hold from anywhere from about 30 seconds. So we're going to get into it, we're going to hold it, and then we're going to count the hold down. All right, let's go. So left knee's in the ground, left foot is in the ground, right hand is on the ground. You're taking your right leg, again, internally rotate at the hip. Okay, internally rotate at the hip. Bring the right knee over the left ankle. Right knee over left ankle. And you're going to drag that right foot as far back as you can. Usually where your left ankle, your left heel, and your knee of your right foot kind of come into alignment. And we're still going to kick our left foot out. Our right side of our body pulls up. And because we have this base now with our right foot, we can slowly take our right hand off the mat. We want to lift our chest up and still have all the power in our left glute. We want to hold this position for as long as we can. If you cannot, slowly put your hands back on the ground or take a yoga block and do the same thing. So here we go. At the 30-second mark, we're going to hold. So we're here. Remember, left knee, left foot, right leg, find your balance, hips, and hold. Slowly take your hand off. Don't adjust your body. We're holding here. You're doing good. We're going to breathe in, out. Remember to zip up. Power's in the glute, balance in the left foot and the right foot in the back, driving into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down. Slowly right hand comes down. Left hand comes down. Slowly come out of it. Right knee comes forward. Left foot goes back. And we're going to walk to all fours. Good job. All right, next leg. Before we get into some standing work, y'all. All right, right leg. Here we go. 2 minutes. Get into it. Feel your glute. Pressurize in the right spots first. Pressurize. We're pushing down with our knee, our shin, and our right foot, top of our foot. We're internally rotating our left hip, bringing it to our knee first. Find the glute. Found it. Now, we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to drive or slide your left foot back until you find balance without losing your glute activation. Wherever you have to be to maintain that glute activation. On this side, I got to kind of come up to feel it. Now I feel it. And I'm sliding back, finding where I feel most balance. If you need to kick out that right foot a little bit, don't forget to breathe. Make sure you're breathing in through your nose and your belly expands when you breathe in. Your belly comes in, zipping up from the bottom all the way up to your sternum. Bottom abs up to your sternum when you breathe out. Whole time, where am I feeling it? Ask yourself, where do I feel it? If you feel pinching in the hip flexors, that means you are putting more pressure in the front of your body than the back. Drive your hips and your glutes back to the space behind you. Press that left foot into the ground. Right foot, now I find balance. Now I take my right hand's already off. It's coming and my right elbow's into my hip. And now I'm coming up. We're going to hold this. This side's a little bit weaker for me, so I got to really press those feet. Really make sure my hips and glutes are doing the work. Make sure I got my columns right. Don't forget the head and the chest are very important in this. We don't want to be outside the columns. Good job. And slowly come down. Good job. 20-minute mark. We got 10 more minutes, y'all. Y'all are doing great. If you're feeling a little sweaty, if you're feeling a little hot, that's a good thing. And you realize there's not one piece of equipment you've been using. Well, these are equipment, but it's not any kind of weights. And your booty, I know, is on fire because mine's on fire. All right, so we're going to get into some rocker kickouts. Rocker kickouts are a great way to help us internally rotate these hips and understand the behavior. We want to internally rotate the hips because our body's a spiral. It is to move in to out to in. It's not supposed to move out and out or in and in. All right, that's why people have the knock knees, and that's why people's feet are way out, but they have back issues because there's no balance. You get that balance from getting your feet straight, being on the blades of your feet, and having so much strength and agility in the backside that you can go from any position. Now, take off the band if it's too much for you. I'm going to keep it on because it really forces me to feel my glutes. All right, 2 minutes of rocker kickouts. Rocker kickouts, I'm going to show you the different views. You guys do it while I'm explaining it. All right, here we go. Hands are in front of you, and we're going to, again, press our feet into the ground. Excuse me, our knees into the ground, our feet into the ground. And as we come up in our rocker, we're going to kick our feet out, maintaining our heels away. We're not going to, we are still ripping apart the floor, but because when we kick out, it's a natural ripping. So we're going to make sure that our heels are away, our toes are still touching, and we're going to kick out and away. So the behavior is to make sure that we are feeling it in our hips and are internally rotating. You may feel a little bit in your hip flexors, but it shouldn't be pinching. If it feels like it's working your hip flexors, that's a good thing. We need to get those hip flexors to not be so tight. And so the best way, we're really pushing back into our glutes. Push back. As you push back, tear apart the paper. As you come up, kick out. You can slide your feet on the mat, or you can kick them out and kind of raise them off the mat. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you feel good with. If you need to adjust your knees as you're going, because sometimes your knees will come apart. If you need to have them apart, that's fine. The closer together they are, I seem to find it really forces me to concentrate on just my hips and my hip flexors. But my hip flexors don't hurt. It's like I'm working them out without having to do hip thrusts. And I promise you, you keep doing this stuff a while, you guys are going to feel amazing. All right, we got about 40 more seconds. Excuse me, 20 more seconds. You guys are doing great. Keep going. We're going to kick out. Very good, very good. 10 more seconds. Good job, y'all. Remember, head up. Breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And good. Shake it off. Woo. About 8 more minutes, y'all. Shake it off, shake it off. All right, now we're going to get into some bolt calf raises. Bolt calf rockers, excuse me. Bolt calf rockers. So I want you to find the best area that you can get to on your feet. This is I call it the catcher stance. And this stance right here is where I'm on the balls of my feet, my heels are away, and I'm resting. This is a deep squat sort of way until you can get all the way deep and your feet are on the ground. Again, my feet are straight, our knees are out. We're gonna rock forward and back, maintaining our feet. This is to build our feet and our ankle strength. You can use a block if you like. We're gonna rock forward and back, forward and back, keeping our back straight, forward and back. All right, 2 minutes of these. Let's go. Forward, back. Our knees come together. Our knees come apart. You can go back as far as you like. The whole goal, though, is to strengthen our ankles, our feet. Our feet we use every day. We need phenomenal footwork. If our feet are not strong, how do we expect to stand? All right? We base our foundations in so many things. But how about our foundation of our feet that we're meant to walk on? Okay? So let's keep going. You guys are doing awesome. Again, whew, pressure's back and forward. Back, forward. I'm really feeling this in my calf muscles. My calf muscles have never been so strong, and they're gaining more and more strength by doing these simple exercises. They're not hard, but they're not easy either. Really pressing the balls of your feet into the ground. And when you go back, we're really trying to press the blades of our foot into the ground. Come forward. We don't want to lean forward. Remember, power and everything and balance comes from the backside of your body. So we're here. I like to call these Spider-Man fingers. Okay, so we're really making sure that we're keeping, good job. We still got about 30 more seconds. You're doing really, really good. We're gonna keep going. Remember, keeping those heels away all day on the balls of your feet. Staying on those blades of your feet, balls of your feet. Good job. We got about 20 more seconds, y'all. Keep going. Good job. Remember, we want to keep our back as straight as we can, but this is the catcher position that we like to be in. We got 10 seconds, keeping those toes straight. Don't let those ankles collapse, keeping our arches strong. Blades of our feet. And we're done. Shake it off. Good job. Woo. All right, now we're going to get into to finish our stuff up, some standing work. So I want you to come to your feet. I'm going to take off my knee pads. You can keep yours on if you'd like. I'm going to take mine off. I'm going to keep my booty band on because, again, this really helps me to feel the pressure. I want you to start. We're going to do 2 minutes of a hinge, and then we're going to do 2 minutes of a squat, and then we're going to finish out with some forward fold. So 2-minute hinge. Feet are pressed into the ground. Toes are spread apart. Blades of the foot, balls of our feet is where we're doing all of our work. We're pressing into the ground, tearing apart the piece of paper, which tears apart our hips. We're pushing against the booty band here. We're internally rotating at the hips, which the byproduct internally rotates our knees forward. Our big toes may come in just a little bit because our ankles are rotating as well as we're pushing apart. And 2 minutes of a hinge. So a hinge, we hold, and we can sort of pulse if we need to. I just want you to hold for a second, push apart the paper, pull apart the paper, tear it apart with your feet, tear it apart with your hips. You may feel shaking at the hips, at the glutes. We don't want the quads catching on fire. So if you feel your quads doing a lot of work, push your hips back into the wall. You can use a chair or a wall if you need to. And we're going to come, here's a side view. Push back. Tear apart the floor. Tear apart the floor with just the blades of your feet, the balls of your foot. Internally rotate at the hips. Breathe. This next minute, we're going to do pulses. So here we go, pulse. So when we pulse, we're only moving our hips forward, back, and up. Back and up. We're not going to come all the way here. We're going to stay in the back chain. Push towards the back space behind you. Press the feet into the ground, blades of the foot, balls of the feet. Tear apart the piece of paper. Tear it apart. Internally rotate those hips. And pulse. We're going to pulse for this last 30 seconds. Good job. Breathe. Stretch your neck out here. Remember, our neck should be neutral. Tuck that chin just a little bit to get more length in that neck. Hold if you need to, if the pulse is too much. 10 seconds. And shake it off. Good, 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 good. 4 more minutes. We're going to do 2 minutes of squat pulses. Whew. Come out of it slowly. Don't want you guys to be lightheaded or anything. Good job. We want to work on those decompression breaths throughout each workout. So it's breathing in again. Stomach goes out. Breathe out. Zips all the way up. Feel the lower abs come up to the middle abs all the way up. Feel the body come together and the transverse abdominis like wrap around that sternum. So side view again. It's good stuff. The breathing is so important to your central nervous system calming down enough to be able to learn this new movement that has always been in you, but because of our modern society, we have been conditioned out of these natural ancient patterns of the deep squat, which I'm still working on, and the forward fold. These are ancient patterns that we should be able to get into easily without coming up with pain or without dealing with pain later on in the day. All right, so let's get the squats out of the way. Here we go. Same thing as a hinge, balls of the feet, blades of the foot. Tear apart the ground, tear apart your hips, internally rotate, find your glute. Now we're here, but now for the squat, I want you to allow your knees to go out so we're no longer internally rotating. I just wanted you to kind of feel your hips again. And we're going to lean back, press into the ground. Our knees are going to go out to the right and left a little bit in this because for the squat, we're going to press back and up, but our toes are straight. Our feet are not way out here doing this. Our feet are straight and our knees are really at about 22-degree angles. So we're not at a crazy angle. And we're in our loading or our bow position. And we are just pushing our hips back and back, almost like a hinge, but we have a little slight bend in our knees. And we're kind of coming off our heels a little bit. If you want, you can have a support here. You can use a wall, a block if you want to come lower, or you can stay up and really focus on all the pressures on the balls of my feet. My toes are straight. I'm pushing my hips back into the sky. I'm ripping apart the floor with my feet, not my toes. My toes are not scrunching into the ground. My blades of my foot are pressing right to left, and I'm pushing the hips back, back, and then down, back and down, back and down. Trying to stay off my heels because my heels is not where I'm getting my strength from. My strength is coming from my glutes. Good job, everybody. We got about 20 more seconds, and then we're going to get into our forward fold decompression. Keep the squats going. You should feel it right at the top of your hamstring, bottom of your glutes. Oh, yeah. Feel that burn. Hold if you need to. Remember, it's not an exaggeration of our knees. And one. Good job. Woo, shake that off. Last part of the day, our forward fold decompression. Here we go. 2 minutes, and then we're done. All right, so feet are straight. I breathe out to find my position and gain length, or to find my position and pressure. Pressure, shape, length. Tear apart the legs. If your legs are shaking like mine, we did some good work today. That's your central nervous system saying, what are you doing? I like it, and I'm going to learn you. Doing real good. This is the last part. Enjoy this. You can do it passive or aggressive. Or active, I should say. It's not aggressive. But it's just tearing apart our feet. Internally rotating at the hips to get those knees straight as best you can. Don't force it. Pressure's not here. Remember, allow that head to get straight, that neck, slightly tilt your chin just a little bit. Continue to tear apart the paper as best you can. Don't force anything. It takes time. 30 more seconds, y'all, and we're done. Good job. Good job. Press into the ground. Oh, feel the pressure. Good job. And we're done. Slowly come up like a zombie. You can bend your knees a little bit. Come up slowly. Pressurize your feet. That's where you're getting your strength. Press your feet into the ground. Pull them apart as you come up to give you balance. Find your positioning. Find your pressure. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope to see you next time. Coach Michelle coming at you live. Primal movement, phenomenal footwork. You got it. Deuces.